Okay, we're trying to work out who you are because we said the whole purpose of life is self-actualization. To really fulfill your potential and your role and your purpose in this world. To become the greatest person you can become, to become enlightened, to become a tzaddik. You are here to become a tzaddik. But to have self-awareness and self-nurture and self-compassion and self-esteem and self-respect and self-love, you really have to define yourself. What is yourself? So this is the best way we're going to do it, because really there are two yous in this sentence. I let myself down. I know none of you have ever said this, because you've never let yourself down. Have you? Ever in your life? Anything you wanted to do, you did it. You've always lived up to your values perfectly. But let's say for other people, not including you, those who don't perfectly always live up to their values and do what they know is the right thing to do, because obviously the key to self-esteem, self-respect is do the right thing, live up to your values. So if you keep doing things that you know you shouldn't do, then you're not going to be able to respect yourself. Or if you don't do things you know you should do, then you're not going to respect yourself. So often people say this, I let myself down. So who let who down? How many of you are there? And who let who down? I let myself down. And which one is more definitive of who you really are? You understand the question? Do you understand the question? Have you ever heard this sentence before? I let myself down? Have you ever said it? I let myself down? Maybe. But you understand this. You understand the sentence. So who let who down? How many of you are there? This is saying there are two. There's an I and a myself. There's an I that let myself down. So who is the I and who is the myself? Clarity? Better? Clarity? Yes. Okay, so what we're going to break it down, we're going to break it down like this. Which of these two is better, more complete, whole, and perfect? The myself. There's this thing called the myself that seems to be a perfect good thing, and there's this I that let the myself down. So good. So in Jewish thinking, the myself is called the neshama. Neshama. And the neshama is pure, perfect, good, love, joy, giving. Really, so the neshama is a finite aspect of Hashem. It's a finite expression of Hashem. So it's pure and good. And this is who you are. This is who you are. You are a neshama. Brilliant. You are a neshama. And the neshama existed before the body. And the neshama exists now whilst you're in a body. And the neshama is going to carry on existing when the body dies. So your essence, the essence of who you are is neshama. But then what happens is neshama comes down into a body. Here's body. Now body's definitely not got anything to do with who you are. Your body is literally the vehicle for your neshama in this world. That's all it is. It's literally a car. And just like a car, it gets older and older and older and older and eventually breaks down. It's no part of your identity is your body. Which is crazy that people get most of their self-respect, self-esteem based on their body. What do people think of my body? Or even worse, what do people think of my car? People are getting their sense of self based on things that have got nothing to do with who they are. Amazing idea. So this is your body. And your body is the vehicle for the soul. However, the body is basically just a corpse. And an animal. What's the difference between your body and an animal's body? Nothing. Your body is literally just basically an ape. You eat, sleep, go to the bathroom. We eat in the same way. We're a mammal, basically. And fight, procreation. The body isn't literally an animal. The only thing that makes your body different from an animal's body, apart from it being the worst animal, we don't run very fast, we don't climb trees very fast, we're not that strong. If you didn't have a soul, if you didn't have intelligence, we'd be wiped out very quickly. We're very easy prey. We're like, not only is it an animal, it's the worst animal out there, really. So the body has to be given life. There has to be a life force in the body. Energy, chi. And that life force is called a nefesh. A nefesh. The nefesh is just literally, let's say you had a ninja to make smoothies. It's my favorite thing. We have a ninja to make smoothies and one to make fruit juices. What the nefesh is the electricity. If it's unplugged, then it doesn't work. You plug it in the wall, then the electricity flows, and then it can move. So that's what the nefesh is. Sometimes it's called the animal soul, because animals have a nefesh. Anything that's alive has a nefesh. It literally just means life force. Life force. Nefesh is life force. We put, in a way, this is called the animal soul, basic life force. And in general, because it's just an animal soul, it's the opposite of this. It's selfish. It's selfish, pleasure-seeking, pleasure. It's just an animalistic drive, taking. That's what it is. Good. Fine. So that's the nefesh, and that's the neshama. Beautiful. So what's the eye? The eye, I wish I had another color pen here. A green pen, but I don't. So I'm going to use I'll use the black. That's fine. Once the soul comes into the body, it gets given what are known as the levushim, which means the garments of the soul. The garments of the soul, and the three garments of the soul are called thought, speech, and action. Thought, speech, and action, these are the ways that the soul can express itself in this world, basically. Thought is completely internal. Action is completely external. And speech, we said before, is the bridge between them. Through your speech, you can bring out what's going on in your mind. Your thoughts and your emotions, I can bring them out into the external world through my speech. That's why we say God created the world through speech. Doesn't mean there was a big voice, let there be light. It means he took his internal drive to create and he brought it into the external world. So thought, speech, and action, they're called the garments of your soul. And garments, clothes, do two things, two opposite things. Your clothes cover you up, but they also reveal. They reveal something about you. I'm wearing a white shirt and I have tzitzit, it says something about my values, it reveals something. But clothes either cover up or reveal. So too, the garments of your soul, your thought, speech, and action, either reveal your soul, if you are thinking very high, lofty, spiritual, loving, kind, wonderful thoughts, saying uplifting, beautiful, healthy, kind things, and doing beautiful, kind, sweet, positive, healthy things, then what happens is that your thought, speech, and action actually express your soul. They're channels through your soul. They're bringing your soul out into the world. So really we say on all of these things we have 5 levels. There is forbidden. We have forbidden thought, speech, and action. You are not allowed to speak lashon hara. You're not allowed to say bad things about people. Then there's negative. It's not actually forbidden, but you're just whining and complaining. It's not fair, why me? Negative thought, speech, and action. I don't know how action, but definitely thought and speech. Then we have neutral. Let's just talk about speech. You have forbidden speech, lashon hara, saying bad things about people. Negative speech is just complaining. Neutral speech, there's 2 types of neutral speech. There's neutral and necessary, like who's going to pick up the kids from school. You need to say it. And then there's neutral, just talk about the weather and the sport. And then there's positive speech. And then there's mitzvah speech, which is prayer and Torah and saying brachas. I actually think all positive speech is also mitzvah as well. Positive speech is uplifting people, being there for people. So you're fulfilling a mitzvah by being kind and v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. In general, we have these 5 levels of thought and speech. Action as well. You have forbidden things, you have negative things, neutral things, positive things, mitzvah things. So basically, if your thought, speech, and action is forbidden and negative, then you're not expressing your soul, you're actually expressing your nefesh. You're expressing your animal side. And if your speech is all positive and mitzvah, then thought, speech, and action, then you are using this, your I is actually representing your soul. So this level of the soul is called the ruach. So we have nefesh, ruach, neshama. Nefesh, ruach, neshama. So the ruach is called the ruach, which means spirit, because really it's in between these. We have these two forces. We have this negative voice. Really, this is the voice of your Yetzer Hara. It's called the voice of your nefesh. Is called the Yetzer Hara, the inclination towards evil and negativity. So it's saying, yeah, smoke that, eat that, don't wake up. This voice is saying, basically, be good and do good. This voice is saying, look good and feel good. Look good and feel good. This is saying, be good and do good. And the ruach, which is the I in the middle, is like bouncing between them all the time. Eat that, don't eat that. Say that, don't say that. So you have the battleground of this world is taking place over here. The I, the ruach. This is the battleground of the world. And then we've got these two forces. And you see those cartoons sometimes, you have like an angel and a devil. And the devil's on that shoulder. And that's literally what's going on in your psyche. The neshama is who you are. The ruach is who you are being. It's who you are being, but it's not who you are. Who you actually are, in essence, is pure soul neshama. This, by the way, has got nothing to do with you. There are only two parts of you, really. There are only two things that identify you, and that's ruach and neshama. Neshama is who you actually are in your essence. Ruach is who you are choosing to be in this world. This is where free will is. It's the most important thing in the world, is free will. Your free will happens over here. The nefesh is not who you are at all. It's just your training partner, basically. The nefesh, this animalistic drive within you, is just there to actually help you overcome it. So really, ultimately, the nefesh is also rooting for you. It's taking you down, but really it wants you to beat it, because that's how you become great. So this, in fact, the Torah says that every day of creation, God said that it was good. He saw that what He created good. On the sixth day it says, Tov me'od. It was very good. And what's the me'od? What's the very good? The Midrash says, the Yetzer Hara. This is the best thing in creation. Why is your animalistic, selfish, negative side the best thing in creation?
Makes you earn.
Because it makes you earn your place. It makes you become spiritual. It makes good things you do actually good. Because if you weren't fighting against something negative, something evil, you can't do anything good. So this is literally your sparring partner. And it's given to you exactly. It knows you very well. It knows you better than you know yourself. But it's really on your side. But it's not you. Who you are being is what thought, speech, and action you're choosing to engage in. And who you are is your pure neshama. Who you're being and who you are. So for example, here's a very, very quick story. I first heard this story in India. There was a guru. And we were all sitting around, and he told the following story. Once upon a time, there was a pregnant lioness. It's probably Israeli, actually. Anyway, whatever. There was a pregnant lioness, and she fell down a cliff. And just as she was falling down the cliff, she gave birth to the lion cub. But then she died. And then the lion cub wakes up, and he's in a group, or he basically got born into a flock of sheep. And he doesn't know any better. He goes up to the mummy sheep, and he drinks from the mother's sheep, and then he hangs around with the sheep, and he thinks he's a sheep, and he eats sheep food, and he learns sheep language, and he plays sheep games, and he takes on sheep values, and he has sheep beliefs, and he's a very good sheep, and he grows up, and he goes to sheep school, and he's a sheep, very strongly identified as a sheep. He's thinking, speaking, and acting like a sheep. He's basically a sheep. Then one day a lion comes along. It's a very hungry lion. And he runs up into the flock of sheep. He's about to get a sheep. And suddenly he sees his lion cub. running around with the sheep, running away from him. So he runs up to them, picks up the lion cub by the neck. He's like, "What are you doing?" And the sheep thing is like, "Meh, meh." And the lion's like, "What are you doing, man?" He goes, "I'm running away from the lion." And the lion says, "But you are a lion." And he says, "No, you're lying. I'm a sheep." So he like takes him to the watering hole, and he said, "Look." So he looks at himself in the water, and he sees a lion's face, and he like jumps back, and freaks out. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "I don't know what you're doing, but you're tricking me. I know I'm a lion. I grew up. I'm a lion." And then eventually the lion just gives out this big like Mufasa roar. He's like, "Rah!" Something wakes up within the lion sheep cub, and he realizes, "Oh my goodness, I actually am a lion." So that's the first point when he says, "You know what? I'm not a sheep. I'm a lion." However, it then takes a lot of time to retrain himself. He's got to work on thinking, speaking, and acting like a lion. He's got to learn to eat meat, and he's got to learn to roar. But the first moment is to identify, I am a lion, but I'm being a sheep. This is what's going on. You're a lion, but you think you're a sheep, or you think you're one of these things. So that lion cub, was he ever actually a sheep? No. He was never a sheep. He was always a lion, but he was being a sheep. He was being a sheep. Now, what's actually more important? In this world now, while your soul is in a body, what defines you more, and what are you judged on? Who you are or who you are being? Who you are being, not who you are. If someone says to me, "Rabbi, I want to marry your daughter," and I say, "But I know you just smoke weed all day and play video games and you don't put on tefillin and you're horrible and you're unkind to people." If you said to me, "Yes, but don't forget who I am. I'm a pure neshama," I'm like, "I don't care who you are. You stay away from my daughter, I'll kill you. You think, come near my daughter, I'll kill you." Now, if he changes himself and he changes his thought, speech, and action, then he can maybe marry my daughter. Maybe. So the purpose of life is to be who you are. Be who you are. Make sure that your thoughts, speech, and action are representing my soul. Be who you are. That's it. 3. Be who you are. Be who you are. Now, we have these two voices. You have the Yetzer Hara. Have you ever noticed, by the way, the Yetzer Hara we got the Yetzer Hara is the negative, animalistic, selfish voice, and then we have the Yetzer Tov. Did you ever notice that it's called the Yetzer Hara, but it's called the Yetzer Tov? Why isn't it called the Yetzer HaTov and the Yetzer Hara? Or the Yetzer Ra and the Yetzer Tov? Why does the Ra have a Ha? Why does the Ra have a Ha? Either say Yetzer Hara, Yetzer HaTov, or just Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Ra. Why is the Ra got a Ha?
It's because it's like a constant bad, whereas the good is to always be changing. Makes it, I don't know.
I'll tell you the answer, but thank you for trying. Yeah, the Yetzer Tov, that's a definition term. Tov is an adjective, basically. It's a good Yetzer. It's good, and good, basically, in Judaism means connecting you to Hashem. Anything, how do you define something as good? It be's who you are. It's making you, so a good thought is a thought that is making you be a neshama. A good speech, good action. Good is literally defined as it's taking its purpose, it's serving its purpose. It's good if it's making you connect to your soul and therefore Hashem. The Yetzer Hara isn't called the Yetzer Hara because we don't believe it's bad. If we called it the Yetzer Ra, it means it's a bad one, but as I just said, we don't think it is bad. We think it's actually ultimately good because it's training you. So it's called the Yetzer Hara, the Yetzer too bad. It's a Yetzer pushing you towards badness. And what is bad in Judaism? Bad means it doesn't work, it's broken. Bad means it's making you be a sheep instead of a lion. Bad means it's making you think, speak, and act like an animal rather than a neshama, basically. So therefore, the Yetzer Hara isn't in itself bad. It's just pushing you towards bad, but that's not bad because you can overcome it. So now the whole game gets much, much easier. Much, much easier. All you have to do is, whatever voice is in your head, whatever your mind is telling you, you just have to identify, is this helping me become a better, healthier, kinder, more loving, spiritual person, or not? If it is, then that's called the Yetzer Tov. The Yetzer Tov is always feeding you good stuff. The Yetzer Hara is just anything that's going to make you feel bad and down and selfish and angry. So it's actually not, in general, that difficult to tell which is the Yetzer Hara, Yetzer Tov. And that's why your free will is so powerful. Because our sages teach that if you use your free will properly and you choose to be good, then you are much higher than an angel. Because an angel doesn't have choice. An angel can't do anything wrong. So if you choose to be good, you're greater than an angel. Because you chose it, where you could have chosen bad. But if you choose to be bad, then you're worse than an animal. In this world, you're either greater than an angel or worse than an animal. Once again, when you listen to your Yetzer Hara and you choose to be bad, and that means you're worse than an animal, don't beat yourself up, just do better next time. Let's just stick that in there. Because really, you can always hold on to the fact that no matter how bad you are thinking, speaking, and acting, in essence, you are still good. So never actually ever say, I am bad. I am a bad person. You are not. You are a perfect, good, amazing, sweet, holy person who is being bad. That's very different. It's not great, by the way. You can't go and punch someone in the face and say, that wasn't me, that was my Yetzer Hara. I'm actually good. Because you get judged on your thought, speech, and action. But it doesn't matter how bad your thought, speech, and action, you'll never be a bad person. You'll be a good person doing bad things. And you'll have to go to prison for it, and you'll be judged on that. But it doesn't define you. You are only good. You are only pure. You are only perfect. So we just have to be tapping into this all the time. I think the easiest way to think of it is Yetzer Hara, Yetzer Tov, is be good and do good. It's your drive to be good and do good. The Yetzer Hara is your drive to look good and feel good. When I say feel good, it's like just temporary food, putting other people down makes you feel good, whatever it is, any egotistical stuff. So if you're chasing looking good the whole time and feeling good the whole time, then you're just being an animal, you're feeding your animal. We say, no, you should be choosing to be good. I want to be the best person I can become. That means spiritually aware, that means good character traits, that means helping other people. And doing good, be good or do good. Now, what's so amazing about this is Judaism says you can have them all. You can have them all. What's more important? Being good or looking good? Being good is more important. What do most people spend most of their time on? Looking good. Because you actually think that if I look good, I'll actually end up being happy or something, but you don't. You're just trying to look good the whole time, your body and your cars and your money and stuff, and in the end you don't actually even necessarily look good because there's always someone looking better. What's more important, feeling good or doing good? Doing good is much more important than feeling good. But what are most people spending time and money on? Feeling good. By food and drink and whatever. Judaism says, if you chase looking good and feeling good, you end up not necessarily looking good or feeling good. Because you do things that feel good, but afterwards you don't feel good. You ate too much again, you spent too much on your credit card again, it just doesn't work. Watch this. If you spend your whole time, I don't care about looking good or feeling good, I only care about being good and doing good. If you spend your whole life being a good person, how do you end up feeling? Good. That's true feeling good. I feel good because I just feel good. I feel like a happier, better person. So we say you can feel good, but feel good by doing good. How about if you do good? Let's say you do lots of good in the world and you're helping lots and lots of people. How do you end up looking? You end up looking good. But you're looking good, but not because you want to look good, but people look up to you and respect you. So Judaism says you can be good, do good, look good, and feel good, but it's all about being good and doing good. That's it. Your one driving thing in your life is be good and do good. And we said there are two levels of what good is. Basic level of good is character traits. That's your basic level of good. Have good character traits and help people. The higher level of good is, we say, good on a spiritual level is I'm manifesting my soul in the world through my thought, speech. I'm becoming spiritually aware, spiritually conscious. I'm actually bringing my godly light and potential into the world. That's what true goodness is. And that's it. And then the Torah is just a guidebook how to do that. The Torah says that there are 613 things. 248 of them are very, very good for you. They pump up your soul. They're very healthy for you. And then 365 are not good. You should avoid those things. So lots of the things that it says in the Torah aren't even moral. Don't kill, don't steal, that's moral. Putting on tefillin, that's not a moral thing. If you don't put on tefillin, you're not immoral. And if you do put on tefillin, you're not good. But that's a spiritual, that's a higher level. You're feeding the voice of the Yetzer Hara, basically. Because you have these two voices. The more you feed the Yetzer Hara, the voice of the Yetzer Hara gets louder. Lots of people ask me, why naturally do we think negatively more than positively? The truth is because you identify as a body more than a soul, and as soon as you identify as a body, then you're being a sheep, so the voice of the sheep is louder. But the more and more you identify as a soul, the louder and louder the voice of your Yetzer Hara the Yetzer Tov gets, so it's much easier to listen, and the voice of the Yetzer Hara just gets quieter and quieter, and it's like, and your soul, that's what you're really trying to do. You're trying to turn up the volume of your Yetzer Tov. How do you do that? Through mitzvahs and meditation and kindness. And you want to turn down the voice of your Yetzer Hara. How do you do that? By having self-control, by not thinking and speaking and saying animalistic things and doing things. So that's really the whole game of life, and the Torah is the guidebook to doing that.